Hey everybody, welcome to What the Flick. Tim, Alonso, it's Outcast, episode 4 from season 1, A Wrath Unseen. And we were just saying before in the Facebook intro that the show is not necessarily going to be relying on the Exorcism of the week. They're able to kind of dig in with the characters some and go in other directions that aren't even necessarily supernatural. And we certainly got a lot of that this time around.
Yes, they're really focused on the Megan and Mark storyline.
Yep.
With the entrance of Donnie, we learn everything about that history there.
Yes. The rapist, we called it. And I'll tell you, if you are the guy who sexually assaulted a cop's wife in your adolescence and you have a conversation with them later, don't bring up their daughter.
Yeah.
Bad move.
Not a good idea.
Bad move. That actor who plays Donnie, it was driving me nuts what I had seen him in, and he's got one of those, like, has been on 2 episodes of everything, but also in the beloved by me and a few others cult movie Band Slam. That's where my face locked on with him, or his on me. Anyway, I love me some Grace Zabriskie, and I don't think I've ever seen a demonic possession story where the devil fools the exorcist into stopping.
Right?
Like, how did that not come up before? It seems like such an obvious thing.
So now we learn that not only is Reverend Anderson going to be jealous that Kyle is the one with the gift,
right,
but that all of his exorcisms are pretty much spectacular failures.
The devil's playing possum, basically.
He's playing Scrabble.
Yeah, well, that too. But I mean, seriously, it's like it never even dawned on me before. It's like, oh yeah, the devil could be like, you win.
Oh, great.
I'm good now. Bye. And like, yeah, no. It turns out he's foxier than that. Yeah. So, that's a cool thing, and that I want to see more of a possessed Grace Zabriskie. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah,
we have to do something to tide our time until Twin Peaks comes back on Showtime. Is that this year or next year?
Oh, I don't know.
No, it's soon.
Soon.
It is happening again. Meanwhile, it turns out that Mark's investigation of the trailer could not have been timed better. Because the chief returns the wristwatch to, we're not sure who this guy is.
We don't know, but he's bad news.
He's some muckety muck in town. He was in the opening poker sequence.
Game with the Reverend.
So obviously he's involved with whatever happened there, and no doubt also involved with the arson of the trailer. But we've got prints, we've got DNA samples,
hair fibers.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Not on the watch anymore, but the watch was just there to confirm that it was him.
Yes.
So we were thinking that Chief Giles is no longer trying to cover it up, or was never trying to cover up, but instead wanted to conduct his own little private investigation before he sent things forward.
I suspect that, when he was initially trying to put Mark off, I think he just thought it was a waste of time.
Yeah.
He just thought it was like kids mucking about or whatever. And then the wristwatch obviously was a tip-off. He recognized it. He knew what the deal was. And so now I think he wants to be the guy to sort of either take the heat or get the credit, or at least not have Mark stumble into something and talk to the wrong people, because this is an internal affair now, as far as the city goes. So so that's all sorts of stuff going on with that one. But yeah, I like the Mark and Megan relationship. Like, they originally drew Mark out as kind of a tool, but I think he's doing his best, and I like this. I really like the scene that he has with Kyle, actually.
Yeah, in the bar.
Yeah, where he sort of acknowledges that maybe his take on things he doesn't have all the information.
Yeah.
And that maybe he was, a little hasty in judgments on stuff. So that was a nice moment. Not necessarily the kind of character thing that you get in a show that's all going to be like,
this is very character-driven.
Yeah, by all means. What else is happening this week?
Well, we saw the funeral of the neighbor.
Sydney shows up, or makes himself seen anyway.
Yes, introduces himself.
Right. In a very
nonchalant,
banal kind of way, which is all the creepier given that the away from Kyle moments we've seen with this guy, we know he's definitely bad news.
And how we suspect he was directly responsible for the death of the neighbor.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm sure the neighbor doesn't know this guy from a can of paint, but he's just sort of waltzing in as like, I'm taking care of things. We're old friends, boo-hoo. And I'm sure Brent Spiner is happy to have us talking about something besides Independence Day resurgence right now, too. So, Anyway, yeah, so that'll be interesting to see how that unfolds, and obviously the thing will be of Reverend Anderson and Kyle sort of taking him at his word and maybe confiding in him, and then maybe realizing too late that no, he's whoever he is. We don't really know yet.
So what's their game plan for
Mildred?
Mildred, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, because the daughter obviously now has been told a version
Of what happened.
Exorcism.
And
Yeah. So, but I think that the daughter, my understanding was that she's been visiting less because grandma hasn't been as kind to the grandkids.
Yeah.
Because they're not cute anymore.
They're whoring around town.
Yeah, they're teenagers. Boring. Who wants that? So I don't know if the grandmother is now going to change her tack to keep the daughter around more.
They can only get away with so many assaults.
Well,
before
yeah,
it catches up with
that's
them.
true. There's a lot of black eyes going around this small town.
As much as there is a possession in every small town in America,
Mm-hmm.
like nobody important is really on board with demons are real. These people are possessed. We're helping them. And
Right.
There's proof of that. They're just beating people up.
I'm assuming there's some sort of local hellmouth or something. That's why it's so prolific in this
Sunnydale style.
small area. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, maybe.
But yeah,
Or it could be just Kyle, exactly what he suspects.
that's what he brings with him.
Wherever he goes.
Although the Mildred thing obviously is from the past, and he wasn't around for that. So
I mean, we don't know how far in the past, but
True. That's true. Yeah. What was the significance of, I guess, leaving the little figurine on her step? Stu was basically saying, well, no, the job's not done, so I can't accept this.
right, that these tokens that I've taken were a ruse. They were what the possessed gave me to convince me they weren't possessed anymore.
Right.
And so this is, I'm not done here. I'm going to leave that little
Not falling
fishing boy
for
figurine.
that one.
Not again.
Keep your precious moments.
So is Anderson going to unravel now? Because, he was already doubting himself, and now he knows that he's been completely ineffectual.
Yeah.
Whereas this little upstart just shows up into town and is way better at his life's work
This Pisher,
than he ever was.
I don't know. I'll be interested to see how that goes. I think, maybe at some point he has some moment where it turns out he does have something to offer. I don't know. We'll see how that
Or he's
plays
just
out.
Consumed by jealousy. And
Right.
Is no longer an ally of Kyle's.
That's a possibility. I'm also curious to see if what Mark did to Donnie.
To the full extent of it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we don't know.
And how important the fact that it was all captured on camera is.
Well,
Because
yeah.
we do get that reverse
right,
shot.
Right. Of the dashboard cam. Yeah. So did he remember, and does he make it look?
And
like,
was it all in vain? Did Megan do a good job of driving him out of town, and it was completely unnecessary? Because he was heading out, right?
Right. Yeah. No. These and other questions will be answered, I hope, on this show.
My last question is: do you believe any of Donnie's redemption story? He said he was a stupid kid, that he paid that price. He's not that guy anymore. Which is not an unbelievable thing to believe.
Yeah, but I'll tell you, the coming up to her in the restaurant thing, that's a dick move.
It is.
That's
it's antagonizing.
That's what the rapey guy on House of Cards did. That it's that last bit of
ownership.
Exactly, that last bit of control. Like, I'm in a public place and you can't say anything,
Even
but
in
you
front
and
of
I
your
know
husband, yeah.
the thing that happened in front of this guy that you're with now. Yeah, so that's fucked up. So that leads me to believe no. I'm not saying that such a redemption is impossible, but that...
You think she's the reason he's in town? When she broke into his room, her Facebook was up on his laptop.
I don't know. I don't know if he might have... It may be that he had to go there for work, and while he was in town, thought, I'm going to look up, this gal I used to terrorize,
Yeah, I'm curious if she hadn't seen him just by chance driving by, whether or not they would have even interacted yet. Or is he forcing the issue, making that happen, going to the places that he knows she'll be, just being in the same town?
Well, but I don't know that he would have known they were going to be at that restaurant.
No, but it's not a far-fetched to figure that out.
True. This is good drama that we're asking these questions. It's a question of whether or not they feel like resolving them or what they want to tell us about it. But yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think there are different ways to read it, but I am inclined to be uncharitable. But who knows? I could be completely wrong.
That's fair. That's
We'll
totally
see.
fair.
Yeah. So all right. Well, we'll see what Outcast continues to reveal in the coming weeks. I will be gone next week, but I'll be back in July, and we'll get caught up. Take care.